So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our off-season rebuild series, and today it's going to be the Houston Rockets. Unlike many of the other teams we've done off-season rebuilds with, this is a Houston Rockets team that was, up until about a week ago, fighting for an actual play-in spot. Now, they ended up losing, meaning they did not end up making the play-in, but this is a team with a very, very bright future. They've been going through a rebuild ever since the James Harden trade just a few years ago, and I give a ton of credit to the entirety of this organization and their front office for the job they have done so far. The future is very, very bright in Houston. Jalen Green's turnaround has absolutely been fantastic to see. Alperen Sengun is arguably a top 10 center in basketball, and this team is going to be good for a very long time, in my opinion. We'll talk about the roster in its entirety and kind of my thoughts on the team as a whole in just a second. But before we do, of course, as always, before we do get into this one, if you guys have any other video ideas, make sure to let me know down below in the comment section. You know, we're getting kind of closer and closer to the point where the plan-'s going to start. After that, we'll have a few more teams to get to off-season rebuilds, but we're going to run out of teams eventually. So let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. I've been really enjoying these. And as always, thank you guys for all your support. Let's get into it. All right, as you can see, we're here at the start of off-season number 1. As I'm sure many of you are aware, we do 3 off-seasons, 3 regular seasons throughout the course of these rebuilds. And so let's go ahead and talk about this Houston Rockets team, all of its entirety, and honestly, the season that they just had that definitely surprised at least myself. So, starting out at the point guard spot, Fred VanVleet got a very, very nice contract from Houston last offseason. Many people were skeptical, myself included. I thought, $40 million annually for Fred VanVleet is definitely a big, price to pay. Now, Fred VanVleet did his job. I think he's the exact kind of veteran player you want on your team. Experienced, obviously a champion, and he's somebody that I think worked out for them. Now, obviously, it's not a multi-year contract he has. I think this next year is guaranteed. After that, I believe it's either a team or a player option. Let me just confirm. Sorry, I should have known that off the top of my head. It's a team option after that, so this could be his final year with the team. I'm not exactly sure what's going to end up happening, but I really do like the way that he kind of integrated himself into this team. Aaron Holiday is here. Just a veteran depth piece. Probably not going to be on the group next year. Shooting guard spot. Couple different options here. Jalen Green, his emergence as, potentially a top option in basketball has been really nice to see. Of course, only 22 years of age. A little bit disappointing at times to kind of open up this season. Just a little bit too inconsistent, I think many people would describe him. But, post All-Star break, post some other things going on in Jalen Green's life, he has been playing some fantastic basketball. He looks like he's going to be the face of this franchise moving forward for many years to come. Amen Thompson, who was 4th overall pick. Yes, 4th overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft. Just finished up will be finishing up his rookie campaign. Only 21 years old. Again, I hope he can develop a little bit further. He's not really that absolute three-point sniper kind of prototype shooting guard that a lot of people are looking for in today's world, but good defensive player, good rebounder. He's definitely somebody that I'd like to have on this team long term. I'm not sure if I'm going to play him at the 1 or at the 2. Reggie Bullock here, veteran free agent. Not really sure what we're going to do with him. The small forward spot, almost similar to Fred VanVleet. A lot of people scoffed at the contract that the Houston Rockets handed out to Dillon Brooks, especially after the whole drama with Memphis, them saying, under no circumstances Dillon Brooks will be back in Memphis next year. And no, he's taken on his role. 3-and-D player. He's a guy who can really get under somebody's skin, almost like a Patrick Beverley-esque type small forward instead of point guard. So I like Dillon Brooks. I don't know what we're going to do with him, but he's definitely a nice option to have. Cam Whitmore, 19 years old, slid in the draft last year and had a really impressive rookie season for kind of what a lot of people were maybe expecting out of him. Pre-draft, a lot of people were saying, top 10 guy. He fell to 18? Number 20 overall. Wow. But all around the board, pretty decent numbers out of Cam Whitmore, especially for being only 19 years old. Jayshawn Tate is here, veteran. Not exactly sure what we'll do, but he's a nice piece to have. Power forward spot, I like Jabari Smith Jr. quite a bit. Maybe he's never going to be that guy that, gives you 22 and 12 a night, but certainly a nice young player. Hope to develop him, maybe some power forward every day moving forward. Tari Eason here as well. Been injured for a little while now. Had some words to say with Draymond Green, obviously, but he's going to be a nice rotation piece for us. You got Jeff Green here as well, the nice veteran piece on this team, or one of the nice veteran pieces on this team. He ended up upping with a contract, or upping with Houston with a contract after his championship in Denver. And then really can't say enough good things about Alperen Sengun. Baby Jokic, if you will, still only 21 years old at an 86 overall. Is so nice to see. It really is. I love building around this guy. I've done it before. Very excited to see his future in basketball. Jock Lawndale, 3-year, $24 million contract is remaining on his deal. For me, I don't know. He's a nice backup center. I don't love the 3-year, guaranteed about $8 million a year, but we'll work with it. Boban is here. Then Steven Adams was a deadline deal with the Memphis Grizzlies. He's injured. He's going to be healthy at the start of next year. At least I believe he will be. I'll turn off injuries. I'm sure you all know I don't play with them on. So a lot of positive things moving forward with this team here in Houston. I always override LeBron's retirement. If you're new and this is your first time here, welcome, by the way. Kyle Lowry going to get his jersey hung up in Toronto. And then we enter the draft lottery where we're going to have a couple things going for us. First and foremost, we have the Brooklyn Nets picks. We have all three of them heading into next year. That Washington pick, I want to confirm that we actually have that. I don't think we will. But let's just see what ends up happening. Oh, wow. The Wizards actually went number 1. They do have their pick. We have the Brooklyn Nets pick at number 9. We should have our own as well, right? No, Houston has our first round pick. All right, I'm going to do a couple things right now. I want to check the future protections on the Wizards draft pick. I'm not sure what trade that stems back to. Is that, I feel like it might be a little far back for the Russell Westbrook trade, but it very well could be that. So that, and then obviously the Brooklyn pick from the James Harden deal, and then it says Dallas has our pick. Let me confirm all that. All right, so real quick, in terms of this draft pick situation that we kind of have unfolding in front of us right now, I have a few updates. I always use Fanspo. They seem to be nearly 100% accurate with what actually happens to these draft picks nearly 100% of the time. So I will read you this. Outgoing draft picks to Oklahoma City. Houston's 2024 first-round pick, protected selections 1 through 4. If, yada, 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 you get it. It's not 1 through 4. So it's going to go, it says to Oklahoma City. It has it to Dallas here. We don't have it. I'm not going to go in and fix it. I don't really care. Now, the Washington pick is interesting. Washington's first-round pick to New York for selections 1 through 12 in 2024, 1 through 10 in 2025, and 1 through 8 in 2026, and then it just turns into some seconds. So unless there was some deadline deals that happened that changed the outcourse of what you're seeing here, 2K just has it wrong, and so I'm not going to give myself the Wizards unprotected first next year. We're not supposed to have it. I don't know how the Houston Rockets got mixed up in that, but apparently that's not what's actually happening. So if we do have the Wizards unprotected first next year, I will give it back. All right, Ime Udoka has done a fantastic job in his first season as the Houston Rockets head coach. I kind of miss him in Boston sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I love Joe Mazzulla, but Ime, he's a really good head coach. I'm excited that he's here and found, a forever job, hopefully. All right, so let's skip up to the draft right now. We will have that first round pick from Brooklyn, which of course is nice. It already says we have the Wizards unprotected first. I'll give it back to them, and then we also have 9 and 18. So I'll either see you guys in the draft or with the trade. I've decided I want to draft somebody at number 9 overall. I'm very well aware this is already a young and a deep Rockets group, but ultimately drafting somebody in the top 10 is something I don't do unless it's like top 5. So, mixing it up is always fun. We'll take a look at the summary real quick. Alexander Sarr did go number 1 overall to the Wizards. Riza Shea, horrible names. Jacoby Walter, Nikola Topic, Saloon, Shepard, Holland, and Bobby Klintman. So definitely a couple names still here. Cody Williams, Robert Dillingham, Matas Buzelis. Donovan Clingan is still sitting here. Do we just secure that backup center spot? I'm fully aware that we have Steven Adams here. We have Jacques Londale, but Donovan Clingan in some mock drafts right now is projected like top 3, top 5. So I don't know. I almost feel inclined to 100% do it. This is Stephon Castle, not Stephon Cassell. I always fucked it up. He's the UConn product. And good size for him at 6'6". Definitely could be a nice backup shooting guard option. If I go with Castle, I think my plan would maybe be to move Thompson back to point guard. Feels like it might be the smart thing to do. He has no comparisons here. I think I'm going to take Stephon Castle. I am. I'll make sure to update his name, but I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on that one. Welcome to the team, Stephon. I also went ahead and traded away my 2 second-round picks. Again, with the depth we have, I just really didn't need them. So let me update his name. Let me move some positions around. And again, I'm sorry for cutting so much. Team player options, Jabari Smith Jr., yes. Tari Eason, yes. Jayshawn Tate, I'm going to bring back. $7 million a year is definitely a hefty price to pay for a 74 overall, but in a non-realistic rebuild, who really gives a shit? All right, qualifying. Jermaine Samuels Jr., I'm not going to pretend I know who this is. Nate Williams, same thing. Nate Hinton, honestly, same thing. Wait, I feel like I'm familiar. Houston? Oh, sounds kind of familiar. All right, so free agency here. We're not going to have a ton of money to spend. Doesn't really look like we have many free agents anyways. I moved Thompson back to the backup point guard spot. He'll be behind Fred VanVleet. I don't plan on making many major changes. This team had a really exciting, especially second half of last year. We can be, really consistent with that level of basketball. This is a playoff team. So I don't really foresee any major moves. Honestly, I'm tempted just to kind of run it with this team and see what ends up happening. Steven Adams is, I don't think, going to be hurt next season. I'm pretty sure he should be back. So if I'm wrong on that, my apologies, but I'm just going to turn his injury off. It'll actually be turned off by the time we get to the start of next year anyways, but just so we have this done. So meaning I could maybe go ahead and trade away Jacques Londale. I know Steven Adams is, up there. I don't want to say up there in age. It's not like he's some old fart, but he is what? He's 30. So, there's definitely something to maybe consider there, but I think moving Jacques Londale wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I'm not saying he's trash or anything like that, but do I really need to hang on to him? I I don't really think I do, but then again, I could maybe till next offseason. Could. Jayshon Tate's definitely going to go, though. If I can get a draft pick, I'm definitely going to take it. He's just expiring, and Philadelphia wants to give me a first. They're more than welcome to do so. Charlotte wants to give me a first-round pick. That's actually a Dallas pick. Who cares? All right, I will hang on to Jacques Landale if I cannot find a good trade. If there's not anything, a young player with team control is what I'm looking for. If I don't see that, then I'm just going to hang on to him. And then, 2 first-round picks is nice. But I honestly do think the money will be nice to have next year. One, in case Adams leaves, he's a good backup, like almost an insurance policy. And then second, he can probably fit into some bigger deals we might end up making. So, we'll hang on to him. I know it's not a very exciting offseason, but this is kind of the way we're going to roll with this team right now. And I'll see you guys at the start of year number 1. After a somewhat quiet first offseason here in Houston, we are ready to kick off our first regular season. This team on paper, I think, is coming together quite nicely. It's super cool to see some of the development out of some of these guys and ultimately really have a team that has an identity, hard-nosed, gritty team ready to win. So here goes nothing. Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Şengün is 1 through 5. Nice jump in terms of overall from Mr. Jalen Green. Funny enough, the game is recommending I start Thompson over Fred VanVleet. I'm not going to do that because I think Fred VanVleet fits this starting 5 very well. But ultimately, I will say there's a strong possibility this is Freddie's final year, either in the starting lineup or even on this team as a whole. So Thompson will be getting 20 minutes off the bench as my 6th man. You got Tari Eason behind him. Cam Whitmore, the second-year player. Stephon Castle, who we just drafted out of UConn, I think, 10th overall, 9th overall. And then Steven Adams will get minutes as my backup center. I want to play him over Jacques Landale. I like Steven Adams quite a lot. Good, big, hard-nosed, gritty kind of player. So very excited to see what we can do with him finally getting on this team and getting some minutes. And ultimately, I expect this to be a playoff team, make a little bit of noise. See you guys at the end of year number 1. 46-36. That is the record we wrap up our first season with here in Houston. It's not terrible at all. Honestly, I don't really have many complaints. It's kind of around where I thought we were going to be. I mean, sure, 50+ wins is always nice, but 46 for a team I really didn't do anything to. I'll take it. Another MVP for Nikola Jokic. Alexander Sarr, who went number 1 overall to the Wizards, is your Rookie of the Year. Manu Quickly is somehow a Golden State Warrior, and he is your 6th man of the year. Victor Wembanyama is the boy. Chet Holmgren, Most Improved. Damian Lillard, Clutch Player of the Year. Mike Malone, Coach of the Year for the Denver Nuggets. So let's take a full look at these standings. We are the 6th seed, so we avoid the play-in, which of course is very nice. We're going to have the Dallas Mavericks in round 1, so the Battle of Texas will ensue very, very shortly. Let's check out the numbers real quick, see how everybody played. I almost said Jabari Green. Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün with almost 16, 10, and 6. I like it. I really do. Fred VanVleet, Jabari Smith Jr., Dylan Brooks, Whitmore, Eason, Thompson, Castle, and Adams. Rebounds per game is going to be Smith, and then assists is Fred VanVleet. Round 1, us and Luka Doncic in the Dallas Mavericks. Luka, Kyrie, Josh Green, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford. I can't, explain enough about how much the acquisition of these 2 front court players right here has just completely flipped the Dallas Mavericks season around. The deals they made at the deadline were absolutely perfect for what they needed. This Dallas team is very, very hot right now. Well, let's do it, man. We do win game 1. Nice little upset there. They take back, or excuse me, I can't fucking speak. We go up 2-1. We go up 3-1. We win in 5. We win in 5. And, I guess you can call it an upset. I think we're a more well-rounded team. They clearly have the better player in the series, but that's just insane. Okay, us and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Similar almost in some senses to the Dallas Mavericks with really dominant MVP candidate point guard. Mr. Giddey and Kyrie are not exactly the same person. Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, DeMar DeRozan is a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Interesting. I don't know if I'd love, I know he's not in the starting 5. I just don't know how him and Giddey would do, even though Giddey has been shooting better from 3. All right, we are 2-2 with them right now. We go up 3-2. We can also close them out. 6 games. A little bit of a run here we're making. Now, we are facing a very, very dominant team here in the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic. Somehow have added Patrick Williams to come off the bench, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson. It's a lot of good defense coming off the bench there. Okay, here we go. We win game 1. What is happening? I'm not really exactly sure what's going on right now. Don't blow a 3-1 lead. Okay. I'm telling you, man. I can tell when it's going to happen. I can always tell. And the Denver Nuggets going to win it all. Nikola Jokic, 2nd career Finals MVP. All right. That was what? LeBronto came true. That was a very, very dominant season or playoff run specifically. Obviously, you can consider it a little bit of a Cinderella run, but nonetheless, very, very happy with the way that one went. I don't love blowing 3-1 leads, but we probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. We will have the Brooklyn Nets draft pick. Again, I just want to confirm. We don't have any other picks. Okay. Oh my God. They give the Thunder just every other pick. Okay, wow. The Nets do end up with number 2 overall from the Kevin Durant trade. That's insane. We have number 4. Wow, I didn't even see our pick jump that high. So number 4 overall pick. We're good with Ime. I like Ime a lot, as I'm sure many of you are aware. Now, up to the draft, a lot of different options here. We also have 3 second-round picks. I honestly don't think I'm going to use any of them. Some of you might not like that. I know in some rare cases, you can occasionally find value in round 2. With the way this team is built, the depth we have, the young depth we have at that, doesn't make a lot of sense for me. So, couple different options. I think the most sense probably is drafting somebody and then maybe trading that player if I decide to make a blockbuster deal. And I really only say that because, the way this team is right now, just look, entering free agency, not that I'm trading either of these players. Expired, like team options, all that stuff. So, Dylan Brooks would be the one guy I could maybe consider moving right now, but this is a deal that I don't necessarily hate, but I do get marketed in a decent amount, and I don't really want to do it right now. So no, I'm going to draft somebody. I'll just stick with you guys here. I know it's probably not going to be, any of the top guys. Take a look at the summary so far. Flag, Harper, Bailey, kind of as I expected. So VJ Edgecombe sitting here, Jalil Bethea, I'm sorry. Jaden Quaintance. Okay. Trey Johnson, Ian Jackson. So whoever I do take, probably just going to trade. I guess Jalil Bethea is probably my best option there. 6'5" out of Miami. He's a 76 overall. We look at team player options. I am going to bring back Fred VanVleet. I think he is probably on his way out via trade. Not saying it's 100% going to happen, but I want to let Thompson take over at the point guard spot. Now, Alperen Şengün and Jalen Green are both very big free agents. I want to make sure I'm able to retain both these players. We could have clear up money to maybe sign one of the bigger names if we were to trade away Fred VanVleet for nothing, and probably Dylan Brooks as well. I mean, is that a path we would consider taking? Is there any real possibility that we're able to get a Tatum, a Mitchell, a Brunson? Jimmy's just a little old. Maybe even Kyrie. I mean, there's a lot of names here. I know the cap holds are going to be huge for Green, especially because he was a top 3 pick. I just don't really see a world where Tatum comes here. I mean, maybe. It's a risk no matter what, right? I mean, no matter which way, which direction we go, it's going to be some sort of risk. So I might be willing to take it, though. I might. I'm going to do it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clear up the contracts of Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks, but I'm not just going to dump them for draft picks. I'd like to get some sort of insurance, especially for Brooks, because if I trade Brooks and VanVleet and then I'm not able to get Tatum, but I can still bring back, obviously, Jalen Green and Alperen Şengün, I'm still screwed at the small forward spot. So I want to make sure I get some sort of player there that's going to, at least be a decent option, although cheaper, if everything goes to shit, basically. So let's just look at my options here. Not seeing a lot that I love in terms of trades for Fred VanVleet. A lot of them have me taking on big contracts. I mean, obviously, but could just make a trade for Anthony. Acquiring somebody like Anthony Black wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because there's value there, rookie contract still, and can probably still trade him for a decent enough small forward. So you know what? We're going to make this deal here, clearing up $40 million and then taking on 7. And then I'm going to do the same thing with Brooks. He might be somebody I just dumped for some draft picks just because, again, really got a decent player there in Anthony Black. So let's see. I almost said Nicholas Black. Anthony Black. I love Herb Jones. He's just making too much money. Cason Wallace is another example. I am just curious. Cason Wallace, I will do this just for now. Do I have the Tatum money? I do. All right, that is a max contract for Mr. Tatum. I do not know if he's going to accept. Okay, maybe he will. Please tell me Şengün and Green do not have offers. Şengün has 4. He's not accepting any of those. So we're going to bring in Tatum. I'm going to renounce everybody here. And then what is it going to take for Jalen Green? I don't know how much I'm over. Oh, I have $21 million. All right, I need to clear up $4 million. Jock Londale, count your fucking days, buddy. Let's go ahead and move on from him. And hypothetically speaking, we should be good. Thank you very much, Celtics. Celtics are helping me out. Take away their franchise player. God bless this game. All right, so renounce Holiday. Do not renounce Green. Bring in Tatum, by the way. I'm kind of just underselling that one. And now is going to be the tricky part because obviously some offers are going to come in. Still nothing real for Şengün. Jalen Green only has our qualifying, so we can wait another day. Same thing, do not renounce, sign Tatum, and then this is going to be the big day because Şengün, still no. Still nothing for Jalen Green? Fine by me. All right, do not renounce either of these guys. Bring in Tatum, and now we are going to go ahead and give both of these players some nice contracts. And, yeah, we've almost in some ways created a super team. I'm fucking happy right now. All right, I also traded for Casey Wallace and Anthony Black, so I'm probably going to hang on to Wallace, have him be the backup behind Thompson. In terms of shooting guard, I'm pretty comfortable with Castle and Green. I know I just drafted Jalil Bethea with the assumption that there's a possibility as him as my backup shooting guard, but I don't know, man. Tatum's playing the 3, if you couldn't figure that out, by the way. He's up to a 97, so I'm happy. As much as it would morally hurt me as a Celtics fan to see Jason Tatum in another jersey, I'm not going to complain about it today. So maybe I just trade away Jalil Bethea and Anthony Black for a center, like a backup center. I don't know. We almost have too many guys. So, I mean, that's the unfortunate part right now. Like, Anthony Black, is there a center out there? I don't know. Like, I see Paul Reed. It's a little insane to trade Anthony Black. Mark Williams. Perfect. This rebuild has gone very, very smoothly so far. It really has. So, I mean, we just drafted a 4th overall pick here with Jalil, but honestly, he's going to have to spend a season on the bench. Sorry, but this team's just too good. What an absolutely fantastic offseason we just had, bringing in Jason Tatum, one of the top 10 players in all of basketball, all while this team's still developing a very nice young core and a very, very deep bench. Men Thompson, Jalen Green, Jason Tatum, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Şengün. Bench unit, Cam Whitmore is going to take over as my 6th man. You got Mark Williams, newly acquired, as the backup center. Tari Easton's still here, Casey Wallace, and Stephon Castle rounding out this 10-man rotation. Again, it's very weird that a 4th overall pick's not even going to sniff the rotation, but it's just the way this team's built right now. I mean, I'm not going to keep him on the bench, next year, but we'll figure something out. For now, he's going to be my 11th and final guy, and I'm not going to send him to the G League. Most importantly, because it doesn't really do anything to his development, but also it's just insane to send a 4th overall pick to the G League in most cases. I understand that there are certain situations like injuries and that stuff. I'm not going to keep rambling about this. You get it. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. I had a feeling it would be a good second season, and I was right. We go 71-11 here in our second season in Houston. Obviously, going to give us the best record in basketball, at least I'm assuming. But yeah, big playoff run coming up after a blown 3-1 lead in the Cinderella run of the Western Conference Finals last year. Luka Doncic, a 32-point triple-double, gives him the MVP. Bam Bagyoka, Rookie of the Year. I didn't know we were going to get a second Bam in basketball soon. I love that. Cooper Flagg, your 6th man. He's a 6th man. Oh, my God. Wemby's your D-Boy. Thompson, most improved. You truly do love to see it. That 3-point percentage is... oh, boy. All right, Darius Garland, Clutch Player of the Year. Ime Udoka going to take home Coach of the Year with a 71-11 record. I didn't even realize we, repaired Tatum and Ime back together. They only spent one season together, but nope. Here is number 2. Jason Tatum, Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün, Whitmore, Thompson, Smith, Eason, Williams, Castle, and Wallace. Rebounds per game was Thompson, and assists. Also Thompson, wow, 6'7" point guard leading us in rebounds. That's insane. I will check out the standings. I'm assuming we're all probably pretty aware that, yeah, it's going to give us the 1 seed. And here is the Eastern Conference. So who are we facing round 1? Utah Jazz. All right, Patrick Williams now here. Michael Porter Jr. now here. Did they make a big trade? Oh, did they give Lauri Markkanen to the Denver Nuggets? They probably did. I think this is a sweep, or close to, and it's a sweep. Okay, now speaking of the devil, and I was right on my kind of gut reaction, but they did lose Jamal Murray, which I've been seeing a little bit more and more, and very confusing at that. Western Conference semifinals against a very good Denver team. We are currently up 3-0 and clean sweep. Western Conference Finals, us and the Oklahoma City Thunder, the team we beat in round 2 last year. We have sent them Dillon Brooks. They traded us Casey Wallace. I'm not going to say it's a revenge series for Dillon Brooks. Oh my God, we've yet to lose a game. Every time. It's like you can set your watch to it. Every time I say that, we lose a game. Don't do this. Thank you. All right. NBA Finals. Us in the Cleveland Cavaliers. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Moody, Mobley, Allen. You got LeVert off the bench, Max Drew. So not a ton of changes. Moses Moody's a nice new addition, but really just a solid young core that's developing well, and they're a good team overall. So here goes nothing in the NBA Finals. We are up 2-0. We go up 3-0 in a clean sweep. I should have gotten gameplay. My bad. Oh, boy. All right. Jason Tatum's never beating the super team allegations if he didn't win Finals MVP. I'm not saying Thompson played poorly besides the 3-point percentage, and the free throw percentage is dog water, too. I mean, those are all around good numbers, but I'm just saying. All right, let's get into it. Final offseason here after a championship is always fun. I apologize about no gameplay. If we make it back next year, I will get some. Wow. A lot of big names there. Draft lottery. That Celtics pick is going to be in the top 3. I guess that's what happens when you take away Jason Tatum, but it has to be protected, right? Yeah, it is. It was protected, whatever it was. It falls to 7, which is insane in the first place, but we'll live with it. All right, Ime coming back for our final season here, obviously, and then we'll head up to the draft with the 17th overall pick. I just don't need this. I'm not going to pretend that I do to I don't know. We already have too much depth. Team player options, everybody coming back. I don't like really need to make many major changes here. We actually might not have enough money for everybody. My number one priority is Jabari Smith Jr. I'm actually going to wait for Eason and Williams after that. I'm not going to renounce them, but just in case, I have to make sure I do get Jabari Smith Jr. back. So I will wait on Tari Eason. I will wait on Mark Williams, who does have a nice offer from the Magic, and he's actually going to accept it. So we'll match it. A little bit of a risky proposition, but I don't want to lose the man for nothing. And then Tari Eason has no offers. We're good there. And we're good all around. So Tari Eason wants, Jesus Christ. No way we have the funds for this, right? I guess we do. All right. I mean, I don't like running back the same exact team, especially because we have, a number 4 overall pick in Jalil Bethea just sitting here. It feels like such a waste just to not do anything with him. But what am I changing? What am I upgrading? I mean, maybe Jabari Smith Jr., but I don't need to. Do I want to? I mean, maybe. But I genuinely do not know what I would change on this team. It's that good. Honestly, I know I just gave a whole speech last year about just hanging on to him, but is there anything here that's significantly better? I doubt it. I mean, I see Jaime Jaquez Jr., but him and Cam Whitmore are the exact same overall. It just doesn't make sense. I'll glance at a Jabari Smith. I'll look. I will look, and I'll just, if there's anything there, no. I got Jaren Jackson Jr. way too much. I don't need him. I'm just going to keep the team the way it is. It might be insane, but you know what? We're doing it. I'll see you guys at the start of the final regular season. I've decided to make another trade. If this trade doesn't go through, we're actually not going to make one, but Anthony Davis would be a fun upgrade on this team, and I don't know. We already won a championship. Who really cares? People want to see me get stars. I understand it. So Mark Williams is in this deal just because the money works. At that point in time, I have a lot of draft picks, actually. I will then trade either Bethea or Castle for a backup center. We'll go from there. So I have a lot of valuable draft picks. I don't know if it's a possibility for us to... I guess it is. All right, so Anthony Davis going to take over as my starting power forward. Was it a necessary move? Probably not, but you know what? We're not going to run back the same exact team, and now we're just going to find ourselves a backup center with either Jalil Bethea, who is making nearly $10 million. There's probably some decent names out there we can get, like Flory Badunga is here, not as good as Mark Williams was. Zach Edey's here. Should I just do it and say, fuck it, why not? Oh, Derek Lively's here. What? God bless this game. I understand how valuable, Jalil Bethea is as the number 4 overall pick, but you know what? I don't really need him. So you know what? Fuck it. Let's take Derek Lively. Maybe an even better option than Mark Williams. This team is nuts. I honestly have no idea why we made a trade for Anthony Davis. I was just kind of looking at some of the names that we could financially maybe make a trade for, the big names. You understand what I'm saying. And Anthony Davis was one of the better players who money-wise we were actually able to get. So I don't know. I decided to make it. I don't know if Rockets fans are going to be pissed. You're probably not pissed that I traded Jabari Smith Jr. for Anthony Davis. I don't think you'd get mad about that one. All right, final year super team. Men Thompson, Jalen Green, Jason Tatum, Anthony Davis, Alperen Şengün, bench unit. Casey Wallace is going to be my 6th man. They recommend Lively. Wallace is right behind him. Who really cares at this point, right? Derek Lively, new addition as well. Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason, Stephon Castle. So, at least now we don't have, Omax is sitting here, but at least we don't have a number 4 overall pick just sitting here, collecting dust, basically. So, very happy about that. I'm very happy about Anthony Davis. Very, very nice super team here. Oh, my God. I'll see you guys at the end of the final regular season. Now, typically, I'm surprised when I break the greatest record in NBA history of 73-9, but that's just not the case today with this team, anyways. I'm not surprised. We go 77-5 throughout the course of this regular season. And in a hypothetical world, if there's no injuries on, I don't know if they're at 77 wins, but this team winning, 74-plus games wouldn't be that crazy if, hypothetically, no injuries. Jokic, your MVP. Cameron Boozer, Rookie of the Year. Josh Giddey is the 6th man. Victor, oh my God, just all Spurs. All right, Tyler Smith, Most Improved. Steph Curry, Clutch Player of the Year. He was also another name I considered trading for. He's just making too much money. Ime Udoka, Coach of the Year. All right, let's get into it. Let's take a look at the standings. Shocker, shocker. We are the 1 seed here in the West and the best record in all of basketball. The numbers are going to be very interesting because I'm assuming, guys like Tatum still got his number. Jalen Green, 20+. Anthony Davis down to 16, but again, he's the 3rd option. Who really cares who scores the ball? It doesn't really matter. All right, round 1 of the playoffs. It is us and the Golden State Warriors. I mean, I'll still look at rosters and teams. I don't really know if it matters. Lakers here. Our old friend Jabari Smith Jr. No more LeBron, no more AD, no more winning. I don't know. Thunder here, they're a good team. I think I've honestly made a team too good. Oh, good numbers out of Şengün. All right, it is us and the Toronto Raptors here in the NBA Finals. Tyus Jones, Kyrie Irving. All right, RJ Barrett, Barnes, Pirtle. I know I missed gameplay last year, but you guess you'll get some this year with an even more dominant team that in all likelihood will not lose a game throughout the course of the playoffs. So, well, maybe this one. I'd actually rather win in Houston, but maybe we won't have that opportunity. No, we will not. All right, we'll get a few shots up. We are here in Toronto for a closeout game in the finals. Jalen Green has a free throw. We're going to put that. I bricked the shit out of that one, but it's a 10-point lead with 3 minutes. I'm not saying it's 100% over, but it's pretty damn close. So put the starters all back in the game. I know that's kind of dumb in a situation like that. Well, maybe not dumb. Not a big enough lead to maybe pull everybody, but yeah, no, this by far for the offseason rebuilds has to be the best team I've made, right? I mean, I don't really think there's much debate with that. I've put together some pretty good teams. I don't know if this is one of my all-time teams. Maybe it's close for, you know, a non like historic like all legends rebuild, but this one was certainly fun, and you know everything just kind of came together at the right time. Obviously, it's nice having a lot of young talent that we know is going to develop well on rookie contracts. So that's not something I always have. We also got the big name free agent in Jason Tatum, and then we got the big name trade in Anthony Davis. So very happy about the output of this video, the way it went. And Rockets fans, I hope you're happy because the future is definitely bright in Houston. It's not this bright. I don't think anything's this fucking bright, but we've done a really good job, and I enjoyed this one. I really did. So. Let's just wrap this one up. I mean, it's down to 8, not 100% over. Let's just kick it over here to my main man, JT, who needs to have a big playoff run coming up. He really does. I need something out of Jason Tatum this year. I need you to show me something. Shut the haters up, man. All right, Şengün, going to just go up, get the easy layups. He got 10, 11, and 5 on the night. Very interesting numbers from him. Yeah, I'm trying to just think of something to kind of chat about right now. This is where, if I have time in the summer, I'm planning on doing some live streams, mostly because I finally got a new computer. Kyrie's just not missing right now. He's just hot. All right, Jalen Green's got 19, 3, and 5 on the night. I know I've just been using Tatum the whole time, but let's just... All right. Let's call an ISO, and then I'm going to call... Do we know what an ISO means? And then I'm going to call a quick floppy here. I don't know who's going to be the shooter. Maybe Tatum. It is going to be Tatum. Tatum, that's a bad catch. Good putback, Şengün. Okay, am I getting fucked with right now? That's what it certainly feels like. Run him off his course. Thank you. I just jumped. Oh, no, I actually jumped at the right time. Good defense, Jason. He's doing nothing but scoring and playing a little bit of defense. All right, let's just drive past here inside to Thompson. Nope. I'm all over the fuck. What is happening? Good night. Oh, my God. Good night. Anything but a championship in that final season would have been immensely disappointing. Anthony Davis, your finals MVP. Jesus Christ, Tatum's really never beaten the super team allegations. But no, we go through a 16-game playoff stretch going 16-0. I mean, just absolutely mind-blowing. And again, this team is just effing crazy good. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below. That would obviously be awesome. In terms of... Oh, shit, sorry. Jesus Christ. In terms of like what I am considering for like other videos, I'm not exactly sure, what direction I want to go for some of the other ideas. I have ideas, but I always love hearing from you guys. So if you have anything, let me know down below. That's it for me, man. Fun way to start off the week. That is for sure. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.